you kind of blown up on social media recently because fans have been wanting you to make the music for the new Mario movie. Can you talk about that? Like, that must have been a surprise. Like, whoa, well, that would be awesome if I, got to write for the Mario movie too.
Well, I just made a bit of a flippant comment, like, because I see it posted around now and then, and I would love to have a crack at that. I feel like I could do it. And I do feel like a lot of times when games get made into movies, they very rarely ask the game guy to do it. They always get one of the Hollywood guys to do it. And I kind of feel like it's not like we haven't got the ability to do it. Us game guys can write music like that. We all spend hours writing huge, great cinematic sequences. Like in that game I did, Kingdom of Amalur. It's great, big RPG, massive thing, and there's plenty of like stuff in Mario Rabbids. There's and Civilization. It's all over the place. Like we can do it. It's not like it's impossible. But they never think about it, right? So I just did my usual flippant comment, just in case they're looking for a composer. I'm free, not thinking anything of it. And then that bloody game site picked it up, whatever it was, a comic.com thing, whatever it was, and another site. And before I knew it was everywhere. So
yeah, it really blew up.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really intentional. Obviously, it was massively appreciated on my behalf that people think I could do it, and I'd love to do it. And, in all earnest, I am trying to get somewhere near that thing. Whether I get anywhere near it or not, I don't know. I'm trying. I live in LA. I'm, at Santa Monica Studio, the studio that are making it. So, all I can say is, if I don't get it, won't be if I want to train. You know what I mean?
Anyone in the chat right now, if you work in Hollywood, please get Grant Kirkhope in the Mario movie.
That illumination. I mean, I kind of feel like I'd like to even just demo for it. I mean, give me a chance to demo for it. If it's crap, it's crap. Fair enough. But I feel like give me a chance to demo for it, because I will quite literally pour my entire existence into that project. If I got that opportunity, I would treat it with such reverence. And also, I've worked with Nintendo now. I know what they're like. I've had to use Koji Kondo's music already. And I know how respectful you have to be. They cherish that music, and rightly so, because it's brilliant music, right? And I think you have to be. When I did the Peach's Castle thing in Mario Rabbids, I had to take his theme and work it into my stuff, and all that, that kind of thing. So, I know how to do it to keep them happy. Because Nintendo, as I say, rightly so, are very protective of Mario and all his music and all his stuff, and they should, because he's a legend, right? So, I just feel like, I don't know. I'd like a chance at it. I mean, I fully expect to get absolutely nowhere. I'm sure I'll get nowhere near it. I'm sure I will.
How much creative freedom did you have on that project?
My Rabbids, quite a lot. I mean, Davide and Roma, I can't pronounce it. It looks like Romain, but I think it's like pronounced Roma. So Davide Soliani, Roma Brio. Like, they give me a lot of guidance about how I wanted it to be. But, I guess, because I've been around a little bit, quite a while, pardon me, I guess they think, people hire me generally they know what to expect when they hire me. It's going to sound like one of the games I've done in the past, probably, whether that's Civilization or Kingdoms of Amalur or Mario Rabbids or whatever it is, or Banjo or Perfect Dark, or, they know the kind of things that I can write, I'm not saying that's all I can write, but it's a pretty good idea what I can do, so yeah, I feel like a decent amount of freedom in that game.
Yeah, because you're known for kind of having quirky music, and for a perfect example, Banjo-Kazooie, whenever you did, I don't think anyone had ever heard anything like that in a video game before. It had so much personality to it. So to make that transition over to Mario, I feel like it just made sense, because Banjo-Kazooie was kind of like Mario 64 at the time.
Yeah, and I think that, I'm not a one-trick pony. I can do more than that, but
oh, I know you can.
No, but I always say that as a composer, if you're just known for one thing, that is amazing. If people around the world like one thing that came out of my head, if it's one bar, I still find that amazing, because it's something you've dreamt up in your messing around on the keyboard, and somebody went, "Oh, I like that. That's great." That's, I don't care how many people like it. If it's one or a million. It still feels like the same thing to me. Like I'm not like an egotistical type composer bloke. I'm not like that at all. I hate that stuff, right? I'm just a bloke, right, that writes music and people like it, great. That's I always try and remember that. I'll never get wrapped up in that. In America, they've got that phrase, "Don't drink your own Kool-Aid," and I'll never do that. It's not me at all.
And I think it shows that your music can stand the testament of time, because I feel like it'd be a crime if I just didn't talk about Banjo-Kazooie on this show. But even over 20 years later, I'm still humming. this whole entire week I've been looking forward to this, and I've been humming like Banjo Kazooie music and like GoldenEye music, and I think that just shows like how like well you did on that soundtrack.
That's, I guess that still amazes me to this day that 20 odd years later, people still listen to it. It's
Mm.
like, when I wrote it in 1996, probably when I probably started on that game, so around about then, you don't for 1 minute think it's going to last 20 odd years. You think it's going to probably last 6 weeks when it comes out. People are going to forget about it, right? You never think about stuff like that. Or otherwise you go crazy. And I mean, it's hugely humbling for me to think that people still like that all this time later. And it's low sample quality. It's not the best quality music, sonically. You think I don't know. I always find that a little bit hard to come to terms with. Really, like I think I only really learned recently, like in the last few years, that if you happen to be on some kind of media that gets into somebody's childhood, between like 8, 9, 10, 12, all that kind of age group, for early teens. I kind of feel like when I was that old, like I remember all the cartoons, when I was a kid back then. I remember Scooby-Doo and all the theme tunes that I used to love, and Thunderbirds and all that stuff that I can remember the words still, everything. Like you never forget it for the rest of your life, right? So I feel like for that little finite bunch of people who played Banjo-Kazooie, they remember that stuff because they played it when they were kids, and it's funny that people now listen to it when they're 20, 30 years old.